Hispanic groups across the country have registered hundreds of thousands of new voters. Only days ahead of November 4th, street teams like this one in Miami are making sure the record number of registered Hispanic voters actually cast a ballot.
We split up and we go by areas,
Abraham Pereira is canvassing for the nonpartisan Immigrant Orientation Center.
We go to the areas that are most, basically like more Hispanic people, because that's our focus, we're trying to get them to go out to vote.
In Miami's Cuban-American community, the changes are having dramatic consequences. Early voting lines in Cuban neighborhoods have swelled with Democrats, like teacher Gloria Fabricante.
I am very excited to vote because it is the first time since I became a citizen.
Miami's Cuban-American community has long been a small but influential supporter of Republicans because of the party's fierce criticism of the communist government in Havana. The region has produced several Republican lawmakers, including Senator Mel Martinez, who is campaigning for John McCain. At a recent rally, Senator Martinez warned that Democratic Senator Barack Obama is not prepared to defend the interests of Cubans and Cuban-Americans.
He is not so naive as to say he would sit down with the Castro brothers in Cuba or Hugo Chavez in Venezuela or any other murderer.
In spite of the rhetoric, Cuba policy has played a minor role for both presidential candidates during the campaigns. At a recent rally in Miami, Obama made only passing reference to the communist island.
Maybe people came from a country that wasn't giving freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and people wanted libertad.
Like many voters this year, many Cuban Americans are worried more about pressing economic and social issues, says Jorge Piñón, Cuba expert at the Center for Hemispheric Policy.
Voters are focusing on what the candidates say about domestic, economic, and political issues, and not on how the candidates could improve relations with their home country.
Age is one key factor behind the shift among Cuban Americans. The Republicans' hardline stance against Havana appeals mainly to older Cubans who arrived decades ago. Younger Cubans and recent arrivals often favor a softer stance on U.S. policy toward the island. Sean Foreman is a political scientist at Barry University.
Cuba policy is extremely important to a small subset of people in Miami. And as they get older, there are less people for which that's their primary issue.
As the generational shift continues in Miami, experts say Republicans will be forced to find new ways to appeal to young Cuban-American voters. Brian Wagner, VOA News.
Mucha ansiedad por votar porque es mi primera vez como votante. Sí, después de haberme hecho ciudadana.
Él no tiene la ingenuidad de decir que él se va a sentar a tomar café con los hermanos Castro y con Hugo Chávez y con cuantos asesinos hay en el mundo.
Se van a enfocar en el candidato en relación a la situación nacional de este país, ya sea la situación económica o la situación política, y no cómo pueden mejorar la relación a sus países de origen.